So in this video I'll be going through the van conversion that we did. Unfortunately I didn't film the whole thing, but luckily my partner filmed the start and I started filming at the end. So this conversion is for a VW Caddy Maxi. So at this point we had already stripped the van down, cleaned it, hammerized some of the rust points and done touch-up paint. So we'd already insulated the wheel arches and the sliding doors, and at this point we're just doing the wall panels. So the process for the wall panel was to strip down the wall panel, clean it with double-sided sticky tape onto the wall to allow the recycled bottle plastic insulation to stick to it. We then cut the bottle plastic to the size we needed, stuck it to the wall and used aluminium tape to hold it in place. We then covered this with the thermo wrap and stuck it down again with the aluminium tape. Once we had done one wall panel, we then moved on to the flooring. So again, we then cleaned out the whole of the flooring and wiped it down, as it had been a few weeks since we'd first done this. So we cleaned down the whole thing. We then taped round all the edges to make a seal around the edge, because we were worried that if it did rip, there might be moisture that collected on the edges and that it could lead to rust. So we taped all the edges thoroughly to make sure it had a good seal.
Next job, measuring the thermo wrap against the plywood and cutting it into the right shape.
We used double-sided sticky tape to help the thermo wrap stick to the floor and rolled it out into place. We then stuck this down and sealed all the gaps with aluminium tape.
Got to tape it all up with the aluminium tape, and then we can put the ply back on.
Once this was complete, we then finished off the insulation of the walls and the doors. Once all the doors and walls were done, we then moved on to the roofing. For the roof we used van insulation. It was actually just called van insulation, we bought it off eBay. So this is great, as one side was adhesive and the other side had a silver finish to it, so this gave its own thermo barrier. So we cut this to shape and stuck it all into the roof panels. So once this is all done, we taped up all the gaps and thought we should use the leftover recycled bottle plastic that we had. So again, we cut this to size, used double-sided sticky tape to stick it to the roof and aluminium tape to help hold it in place.
Nearly done half the roof. Just need to tape up the sides and then we can slide the plastic roof back on.
Once we had done this, we then put the roof back into place. And that was pretty much all the insulation completed. So I know this isn't a great way to explain it because we didn't film the whole thing, but it just gives an insight. I'll add the process and description so you guys can have a read. So once we've done all this, I then added a few extra pieces to the van. So this here is the curtain rail I've installed. So I've screwed a piece of wood into the existing bulkhead screw holes, and then I've attached a plastic rail that the curtains can then attach to and slide along. Here's a little demo of the curtains. So I also added a bit of van insulation into the footwells as well. Keeps it a bit more tidy and just gives that extra layer of protection. I also made use of the old bulkhead by cutting out the existing sides so it'd fill up the trim, and then I attached the side of the curtain to this as well. So here you can see how the curtain has been attached to the plastic edge. I used double-sided sticky tape to do this. So here's the inside of the van, looking at the cab. So I also painted the roof white as well, just to get rid of the industrial look. Opens it up a bit more and makes it a bit nicer. So then we bought some laminate wood flooring from Homebase. It was quite cheap, so it was £12 a pack, so we bought 2 packs to cover the whole floor. I didn't have the right tools to do this, so I just did it by eye, and it actually turned out quite well. So I cut the first piece to the edge and then continued to work from one side to the other, connecting the floor as I went to ensure it all fit perfectly. Once it was all fitted, I then took it all apart again, used some wood glue and relaid it once the glue was in place, and put a load of weights on top of this, left it for 24 hours. This then stuck really well and the floor was completed. So at the moment we've still got the plywood to add onto the sides. This is what the interior looks like with the insulation and the thermo wrap. I'll be showing you how to install a ply lining kit for your van. I found this kit on eBay, and I'll put the seller in the link so you guys can buy the same kit if you like. So once I ordered the kit, it came within about 2 days, which is ideal. And this is during the COVID-19 lockdown, so it was exceptionally good service from the company. It came in a couple of cardboard boxes. I didn't order the full kit because I didn't need the roof or the flooring, so I just got the side panels, door panels and the wheel boxes. So I unloaded all the parts into my garage to make sure they're all there, and you get a selection of screws and the fitting instructions as well. So to begin with, I removed the panels I'd already put on the doors, so I took all the plastic clips out, so I was ready to install the ply lining. So it's pretty straightforward to fit. As I've insulated the van, I took the thermo wrap off the panels I already had and stuck them to the bottom of the plywood panels for the doors. I then started off by installing the first panel onto the side. I'd recommend having 2 people to do this. As the van is curved, the plywood fits as you push it into place. As it bends, it then curves to the wall, and that's what makes it fit. So if you put it just straight on, it won't fit. So definitely recommend having 2 people. So this all fit fine, as the company marks out where you need to screw, so just go ahead and screw the self-tapping screws that come with the kit into the van. So unfortunately my drill broke as we were doing this, so it took a lot longer by hand, but it's still achievable. You can do any of the panels however you like. I just decided to do the side panel first, and then went ahead and did the door panel, again making sure it all fits and just screw in all the screws. Once this is all complete, I moved over to the other door panel and followed the same process. Again, it's pretty hard, so you want to have someone pushing pressure on the wood as you're screwing in. Once this was complete, I moved over to the left hand side. I've already got some lights installed in the van, so I wanted to cut some slits so that the lights can still be there. I could have disconnected the lights, drilled some holes and reconnected them, but I wanted to do it a bit quicker, so I just cut some slits in the top of the wood that I could slide the wires down into. Once I completed this side panel, I then went to do the wheel boxes. I believe you screw the wheel boxes into the wheel arches, but I was a bit unsure on this one, so I decided to use wood glue and just glue it down to the floor and the side plywood.